through mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. All right, welcome back to another show, Purpose Driven Entrepreneurs and CEOs. I'm so glad to be back with you with another amazing show, amazing conversation and guest, as you are used to. For those of you that watch our show, so thank you so much for tuning in every day. Our show goes out daily, so I'm so blessed to have your attention. As I know, in this world where you could be anywhere, you're tuning into our show, so I'm always very grateful for that. And just jumping right into today's topic. This is our love language. So, how to create systems for success. We're all busy entrepreneurs, busy CEOs, building our companies, aligning our personal life with all of that. So, it can get messy. So, any type of system that we get to create that we can, I guess, that can make our life easier so that we can work smart and not hard is definitely a welcome topic, I know, for a lot of us. So thank you so much to my guest speaker on our show today, Kathy Burns. And she's an expert at this. So I'm so glad to have her and learn whatever is it that she will share with us around this topic. Kathy, welcome. And looking forward to kind of getting to know you a little bit better. So if you could share a few of the most meaningful moments that led you to this work that you're doing today.
Oh, sure, Elona, and nice to meet everybody out there. I love change. So I've had 7 different careers, and while back I was a licensed boat captain because I wanted to get paid to sail, basically. So I did that for a little while, and I lived out of a duffel bag and lived simple. And when you're out to sea, you pretty much have to have everything that you need for success. You can't just stop in somewhere and grab whatever you need. Shortly after that, I became a travel writer, and I worked 42 weeks a year on the road living out of a suitcase. When I grounded, I tried to figure out what do I like and what are my skills. And I realized that I love change, having had so many careers. And then I also discovered that a lot of people are afraid of change. And the way that I worked my way around to becoming a professional organizer, I said, I can help people change on their external environment with their systems and processes for their business so that and it's less fearful. And once they become masterful at creating changes and systems and whatnot, then they can become more masterful at gripping the change of life, because life happens every day anyhow. So if we get, the more masterful that we can become at it, especially as entrepreneurs, because things change all the time, the more masterful we can become, then the better we're able to control the trajectory of our business. So that's a very quick story on why I do what I do, is to help people move through change with grace and ease and confidence. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. You're a unicorn, Kathy. I resistance to change is it was my life's theme before I ventured out or pivoted to entrepreneurship in my very long corporate career. So I love people like you that just embrace change. I had to learn this. I had to learn this is not a natural thing to me because of the safety reason. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen on the other side? But the more you personally grow, you realize that the only constant thing in life is change. So I love that you kind of embrace that early on, and that was something that was naturally more intuitive to you. So absolutely, let's start with some of the things that you've seen just by doing this work on the day to day, with as far as creating systems and getting organized. What are some of the challenges that you've seen people face with this area?
The main thing that I see is that many entrepreneurs, we're artistic creative and we chase squirrels. It's like squirrel here, squirrel there. And what happens is we end up with duplicated systems. We're grabbing this, we're grabbing that, implementing it halfway. And then they're either duplicated systems or they're broken in the background and we don't know what's going on. Take, for instance, we have a contact database and we can't find the number that we knew that we put in there. And it's because it might be in your phone, or is it in your computer, or some of my clients Excel spreadsheet, for goodness sake. So, are all of our content seeking together so that we can find what we need when we need it? Because what happens, Elona, is that the average entrepreneur will waste 4 hours a week trying to find data that they know that they have, that they've created, that they've saved, but they can't find. And so my
Mm.
goal is to have all those systems like contact database or your calendar or your digital documents or your paper documents where you can find them quickly, because we don't want to waste 4 hours a week is about a month a year that we waste as entrepreneurs and as business people trying to find stuff that we own, but we don't know where it is.
Yeah, and we could put that back, towards something else we care about, maybe self-care. That's very hard to get by these days unless you're intentional. Absolutely. Well, yeah, you're definitely speaking our love language here. So where do we start, Kathy? How do we create a system for success for ourselves?
Well, you need to plan ahead first off. We need to go into our day not at a full tilt. We need to go into our day premeditated. We want to know what's going to happen with our day. Like today, what are you doing today? What have you planned? For me, it's early in the morning. It's only 9 or so, or not going on 9. For you, it might be a little bit later, but have you planned what you're actually going to do for the whole entire day? That helps dramatically, because things always happen and change always happens. And there's always things popping into us, into our day, that are encroaching on maybe our mission, right? And if we know what we're going to do, we can make a really quick decision on whether it's worth to get sidetracked, to go off onto that other path that someone else wants us to go onto, or whether we need to hold tight on our plan. Without a plan, something will encroach in on us, like maybe our inbox, which we should never go there first thing in the morning. Maybe your inbox is saying, hey, do this, do that. Here's a project, forward this. Can you submit this for me, right? It's all a reactive thing. And if we don't have a plan, we could get stuck there forever, and we could end up on somebody else's project that we weren't even intending to do, because they have a deadline and they need you to get the stuff by such and such a time. And if it's not in your calendar, then you might just react. But if you know what you're supposed to do and you decide to do that, then the most important thing is you know what you didn't do. So then you can come back around to it. So you see how that all works? Like, if you know what you're going to do, then you can make decisions. If you don't know what you're going to do, then you're just in reaction mode the whole entire time. And as you know, Alona, as a business person, you can't just be in reaction. You have to be proactive with what you're doing to save that month a year for, like you say, for self-care. Maybe you want to take a vacation with that 4 weeks. Maybe you want to spend more time with your kiddos. Maybe you want to just debrief and debunk and, have a retreat for yourself. There's all sorts of things we can do with those extra 4 hours. If we just are planning in advance what's going to happen, then we're able to take advantage and, get
Yeah.
more done.
Then you start like hating your purpose, your vision, your mission, your business, because it's like there's always something happening. And then I find myself with sometimes when I do get this focus, as it happens to the best of us, all of us, we're all trying to figure out our own processes at the end of the day. You're grouchy, you're like, snapping at someone, you're emotional, you're doing all these other things because there's a lot of a lot of resistance in the back of our brain that we have so much going on, you can't even be present for the things that really matter to you. So absolutely necessary. So Kathy, I would love for you to articulate some of these systems. So I know I use my calendar religiously, like my agenda, it's like my Bible. My kids like, okay, mom, can we do this? I'm like, let me check my agenda and I'll let you know if that's something that we can do. They don't like that because they like instant gratification, but also teaching them that, okay, it's got to be planned, we got to be intentional about it. But that's just my conversation with my kids. But besides the calendar, what are some other, I know you mentioned the email list and your databases also, but what are some other systems that we could start to get more mindful around, that we can actually use them as tools to help us as humans get organized?
Yeah, the big culprit for distractions, you were talking about distractions earlier, that, people will come in and sidetrack you, is piles. piles of paper, piles of anything. But as business owners, piles of paper on our desk are the biggest distraction that we can have in life. Because like you said, we could be really focused. Maybe we're on the phone speaking with somebody, and then we're looking down at this pile and we're going, what is that? Is that something I'm supposed to do? Did I miss a deadline? And then you're not even present with the person that you're speaking with on the phone or on Zoom or wherever you happen to be. So step one is clear your desk of any paper pile that's in sight. And the tricky thing about this, Elona, is that the things that are on our desks that might be piled, if you have piles out there and you're listening, it's probably stuff that's in action. It's probably stuff that you want to do stuff with, right? Because out of sight, out of mind. So what you want to do is clear your surface from piles, and you want to turn them into vertical files. And I talk a lot about this on my Get It Gone formula training, which just happened. And there's a replay right now available for just a couple days. It shows you how to actually take your action papers, the things that you have to work with right now, and put them vertical in front of you so that, number one, you can find them. Number two, you can see them without even having to do anything. You don't have to like flip through a pile and see what it is, because it's marked by type of action that you have to take. Maybe it's a call, maybe it's a project, maybe it's a quick task, maybe it's a bill. Maybe it's an upcoming event, right? So there's all different, there's normal 8 different types of action papers, or your to-do list to-dos generally will fall into 8 categories. And once you can figure that part out, then you can go ahead and get them out of a pile, get them vertical stepped right beside your monitor so that you can see them and take action on them in a proactive way. Because I'm not sure if you're familiar, but when we switch task, it's about 17 minutes in between before our mind becomes back focused on what we were doing. So when we switch tasks, it's like 15 or so minutes where we're kind of blurry and not really in the task that we're doing. So it helps not to switch tasks. And same thing with the paper piles. If they're sitting there distracting you, then when you hang up the phone, say you're like, oh my God, I saw that, I had to get that to that person. You hang up the phone, and then you've got 17 minutes of blurriness before you can actually get to that pile to figure out what's in the pile, when the deadline was, what you have to do, and then start working on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It stuck with me, from pile to vertical file. I love that system. And I love that you also mentioned, a lot of these different things, because yeah, as you were speaking, I'm like, yeah, you know me, Kathy, I'm working on my speaking engagements. I'm working on my offers. I'm working on with my clients. I'm working on my show. I'm working on my content. We're always working on, I'm working on writing my book. Like there's like a million things always happening. So, oh my gosh, organization is powerful. I love the work you do, because it's so needed and necessary. And I've seen this actually even through helping companies grow and scale. One of the most important pain point for a lot of us, which is time management. Because again, if we go to solopreneur, to entrepreneur, to CEO level, you're going to understand that self-discipline and that awareness of going through those processes and kind of being aware of like, okay, this is repeating. How can I put this in a system? How can I hire someone? How can I delegate it? Is this a recurring thing in my business, right? So just being very mindful in the process, it just saves you, oh my gosh, so much down the line, and makes us more productive. The brain loves it, the ego loves it, the achievement part of the ego, loves that, because we love that we're productive and we're making headways towards the projects that we care about. Love it, love it, love it. So Kathy, my next question is around your journey as an entrepreneur. What are some lessons that you could share? Or I guess, okay, that would be a very long question, but one lesson that you have learned that you can share with us that you find will help someone else in this journey as they're growing their business as well. And also, one success tip that you have found that has worked out for you so that you can become more successful as an entrepreneur and with the work that you do. So one lesson and one success tip.
Okay. One lesson: in the beginning of my career, I tried to do everything. I've been doing this for 18 years. I thought that I could do background tech, and do coding. Like that was just silly. I struggled and I cried and I drove myself insane for the first 5 years of my business, thinking I could do it. So my big lesson for that is delegate. Like delegate the stuff. I always say delegate the stuff that you hate. Delegate the stuff that you couldn't do anyhow. And if you can do it but you hate it, don't do it anyhow. Like delegate. There's lots of people out there who have the skill set that you don't have that will gladly pop in and do what you hate doing or what you can't do anyhow. Like there's no way I could do coding. I don't know what I was even thinking about that. So that was my big lesson at the beginning of my career. And my second lesson was masters hire masters. Like the only way that you can become masterful in business is to hire people who are a step above you, right? Who can teach you what they've learned and what they've come through and show you what they've learned it the hard way. Why not pay someone to learn it the easy way from their experience? So masters hire masters. It's actually a chapter in my book, How to Master Your Muck, is, the most masterful people in the world will hire others to teach them what they don't know so that they can elevate themselves up in their business. That's the only way that we really grow. Unless we grow like at the beginning of my career, unless we grow by crying and screaming and figuring it out and going through the anguish of knowing what we don't know, right? Instead, hire someone who tells you what you don't know and shows you what they know, and you can just elevate that much quicker by using their past experience and their expertise.
Wow, that stuck with me. Masters hire masters, and you also have a book out, so that's awesome and amazing. Absolutely, that's the only way to get to the next level. Otherwise, yeah, you can take the long way there, or and I'm not preaching or promoting instant gratification, but of course, you can do this a very smart way. There's people that have the thing that you want, so masters hire masters. Beautiful success tip. Well, thank you so much, Kathy, for everything you shared. We actually reached the end of this beautiful conversation. I don't want to stand because I'm sure we can go on and on, but I have to be mindful of the attention span in our audience and just give them the best nuggets and value and serve them in the highest level through our show. So, where is it that people can continue the conversation with you? I know we were just talking about that you have something coming up, a master class or something happening. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, yes. So I have a master class. My website is organizedandenergized.com, which you'll see the link. But the master class I just had on Tuesday, and it's available for replay through Sunday night. And yeah, we'll put the link below wherever Elona's going to put it. Elona's going to put it. So it's called the Get It Gone Formula, and it helps you turn your piles into files and your papers into profits. So it's all about what I talked about, the landscape of your office and taking control of your papers, because papers are the number one distractor that I see. After 18 years, it's always comes down to paper because we're not quite digital yet. And even if we are digital, we can't find our files because where are they? On the computer, the hard drive? Are they in the cloud? Where are they? So I'm helping you control your documents and actually be able to find the things that you need quickly and stop wasting time so that you can spend time on, like you said, Elona, self-care or vacation, or actually just making more money because you're more focused. So it's called the Get It Gone Formula, and I'll put the replay. We'll have the replay in a link somewhere for you to see it. It'll be live and available until Sunday night of this week.
Absolutely. I always encourage all my viewers to start connecting with one another, because relationships and building relationships and trust with one another is a very important value here at the Life School. So, and I definitely will attend your masterclass. Sounds like I can learn a lot from how to get more organized and efficient, because I find that that's always something I'm doing. I'm always growing, right? I'm always there's always like growth around me, and that's a good thing. God bless, right? Because we're intentionally want to grow, but there's always like it's messy before it gets to be created into a system. So I'm sure there's so much nuggets that you will share with people there. So definitely attend that, and the website's right on the bottom. Kathy, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on and sharing everything that you did. It was a beautiful conversation, and I will see you next time with another beautiful guest and show. 3 actions: review, share, subscribe, so we can bring more amazing guests just like Kathy. Thanks so much, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I want to share with you the 4 books that would change your life personally and professionally. So the first book is Connecting the Dots Backwards, one of the books I've written that will help you connect the dots between your past, your present, and your future life vision. You will find topics in there around marketing, sales, spirituality, relationships, all the areas that you need to be fulfilled as a human being. The second book that I've written, which is a journal, accompanies the Connecting with the Dots book. And this journal will help you apply the information that you learn in the book into a journal. It has self guided questions that you can go through and into to get the clarity that you need to discover your values, your vision, and your mission. This is a journal attaching the book as well. And then Purpose Driven Entrepreneurship is my latest book where I have included my legacy framework in building legacy businesses, everything from mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team. And I have connected all the dots between all those areas so that you have the fundamentals that you need to build a truly legacy empire. And then my latest creation is the Focus on Purpose Planner for increased productivity and efficiency, where I have included a framework around your productivity where you can plan ahead, work on purpose, and leave amazing impact on the planet with your work. You can find any of my books on the website below, elonaloparicoaching.com books, and definitely grab your copy. Let me know, leave me a review on Amazon, and let me know how this book has impacted you and changed your life.